So, today I have some goals on my screen. Yesterday the goals were to see what I could do, but today I have more very specific goals today. So my goals today is to see what I can do with this input, because right now what I have, if I go to my engine, which basically the idea is I'm going to be creating an engine. I'm going to be taking that engine and making a game out of the things that I've made, and then releasing that thing onto Steam. What I have right now, because I have my controller, it should work. All I have is the ability to render something onto the screen, which is this A thing over here. And I have the ability to press a button on my controller and for it to go off all on my keyboard. That is what I have right now. But what I actually want to do as part of my engine is just to have a test scene in there, and I want to test all of this stuff. So right now I've only tested maybe these buttons over here. I want to test all this D-pad, I want to test how this stick works, all these buttons, and all the things on my actual keyboard itself. So that's what I want to do. And I want to do that visually on the screen with keyboards and with gamepads. So Kenny over here is a person that makes assets in games. All the assets they make are part of Creative Commons, and I'm going to be using some assets from them today. The assets I'm going to be using is probably this one over here, because it's got a whole bunch of, well, everything basically, all the keyboard inputs, a whole bunch of controller inputs. I reckon we just use this here, input it into the engine, and use that as a way to figure out whether or not I'm pressing the right buttons on my keyboard and my mouse. Use this as a way to figure out if I actually did my input correctly. Oh, he's even got fight stick. Is that fight sticks, or I don't know what that actually is. Maybe they're planning on using different colors here for that, different players perhaps. But yeah, I'm planning on using this image over here to deal with that there. If I go over to here, they do this in one big tile map over here. Now we currently, inside of our code, we only passed in the ability for it to give a texture and where we want that texture to actually be. What we haven't passed through this system yet is I want, if I go pull this into Photoshop over here, I want, I don't know, this 3 and nothing more. I want the square that represents that. And the way you actually do that inside of here, well, if I go into this level and down to here, the way you would actually do that there is right here. You pass into it a rectangle instead. And that rectangle will actually point to the actual location on the actual tile map. It would say, I want this location here at this size. And also what you can do as well is you can say, once you've actually got this size, so if I grab this here, once you've actually got this here, I want to actually render it. And if I do this here, I want to actually render it at, I don't know, this size over here. So you can actually manipulate it like that. Now I need to pass that through this whole system. But once I pass it through the whole system, it should all work. So yeah, that's what I need to do. Pass the whole system all the way through and go from there. What's the first things in a rectangle? Does it go? Okay, it goes position. Okay. So if it's the source, then how is a split? If I go down to here, edit preferences, it looks like it's 16. Let's try 16. It's definitely not 16. Oh, this is not the right thing. This is a screenshot of it, of me zoomed in. There we go. Oh, it was 16. Okay, cool. So if I make this subdivisions 1, you can see that the lines go around. See? So subdivisions 1 means that this here is 16 pixels. One thing I need to keep in mind is when I start doing the alts and the shifts, they are more than 16 pixels big. But I'll deal with that. So let's just choose a random one. So let's just choose 16 by 3 and 16 by 2. And size is going to be 16 by 16. And then the destination, we will choose, let's choose 32 by 32, and let's have it at the size it's meant to be. Comment there, please. And let's just see if that works. Let's see what happens, because it might do nothing now. I'm hoping what it'll do is it'll make one of the... Oh, okay. I'm hoping what it'll do is it'll make one of the images a little bit weird. So I'm going to move this here. That's how it was rendering. It was rendering the entire tile map tiny. Am I right? Oh, we've been doing the wrong one. Well, it's a good start to the stream, isn't it? And we nudged it off the entire face of the thing. Let's try that instead. A little bit more, but not too much more, I guess. Need to do much of anything. Okay, that's like a perfect triangle. I mean, it works. It's a nice little perfect triangle. I'm happy with it, and for now, I'm happy with doing that as a test scene. For me, at least. Now, I know that buttons definitely work. Is the sticks. Because the sticks are a location. They're a vector. So I'd like to be able to see, okay, is it big numbers up or small numbers up? Is it negative numbers up? How does that actually work onto these? So when I go on to do gameplay, I sort of know what that actually is. And also, when I was doing it, so I actually have changed the code slightly from last time. I actually added a single gamepad thing over here. And inside of that there, I actually mapped out all of the buttons so I could pass in a parameter to it. There's no D-pad inside of here. The D-pad is separate. So I'd also like to know how the D-pad works, because I have no idea. So let's do that. 26, 27, 28. Okay, 28. And that gets us to there. That's an I. Okay, how wrong were we? Oh, we went 28. Not 28 times 16. I think we're on the right column. So that bodes well. I don't see it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, if I mix these around. Looks like a C. Where's the C? Is it on the, oh, the C is on the line. Here. Okay. Now it's just working. Yeah, it feels right from this point of view. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. I want to take a look at the D-pad. I don't necessarily have to implement it, but I want to take a look at it. Just so I can see what it takes to implement it. If it's almost the same thing, I'm not too bad. Left button state. Okay. So it's button states, but it's done via a D-pad. So it's, I just need to implement it through, probably through the buttons again. I can do that. I'm happy. I'm fine with that. Now, on my goals for today, I have the same thing for keyboard. But honestly, what I want to do is I want to have a sprite today. Oh, I pressed something on my keyboard. I want to have a sprite today. I want to have a sprite. I want to have the sprite moving about. And I want to have that sprite changing directions with the button presses. And in particular, the button presses of my, possibly the button presses of my thumbsticks. Or the keyboard. Now we know how to do that as well. So, I think I should do that. What are we going to say? It's a good point actually. Let's look at this tile map over here. So the same thing again. This looks like a 48 or a 64 to me. It's not a 48. It's a 32 then. 32. So the 32 by 32. It's much easier when it's small. So let's do this here. So wait, there's two ways to go here. Left, right, and oh, up and to the right and down into the. Is that the way that works? I'm confused. Oh, it's almost like it's on diagonals and not on like a flat plane. How strange. Okay. We'll do something like this then. Oh wait, I think Y was actually correct. I think it was yeah, Y was actually correct. I think it was X that was not correct. Right, okay, so here's the thing. The default is still, I need to press this button. There is another way around that. And the way around that there is to have an enum that says direction. You say this is the previous direction, and then you just change the direction. So as you move around the scene, you change the direction that you're actually walking in instead so that it's not as jarring. Yeah, it'll work now. Well, oh, I can't. No, 32 times 1 is... Oh, this one should be 0. I think. Wait. Right should be 0. That's why. Yeah, okay. But this here does need to be... There we go. Yeah, it's just a bit of a numpty with the fact that everything counts from 0. Okay, I have my character. It's not very big, but I can make it render much larger. I think that's what I would make next is basically a sprite as an actual concept to give into everything and go from there. I think. Yeah, I think so. I can show you my progress if you want. If I actually just make my code compile again. Here we go. So it should. So I got a character moving around by my direction. So I can press each button. And I can do that on the keyboard. That is the progress thus far. Split, width, and height. In here. I will do sassy. I will do. Yes, we'll be over pretty soon, to be fair, because we're reaching sort of the end point of what I can do without a bit of research anyway, I think. This graphics server. Okay. That actually does make it easier. As a refactoring step there. So now we're going to do private iSprite, bard sprite. And then up here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say this bard sprite equals new sprite. This graphics service. This here. And then it can deal with the rest of this garbage. Split evenly 32. And this here is going to be 1, 2, 3. Now, there's going to be no difference, but it's just it's going to be way easier to manage a multi-tile set situation. When all I have to think about is it won't... Oh, I didn't switch that back. I declared a new one. Okay. Perhaps we'll try MIPS. If not, I'm going to do some research and I'm going to stick that on my Git issues to figure out why I've got blurry textures when I make them even slightly bigger and have to make pixelated textures. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So we're going to make an issue for that. So, in order not to forget things, you add issues. You add issues into your GitHub repository or whatever you want to store them, Jira or whatever. And you make things, you make notes to yourself to make sure you don't forget things, especially bugs. Figure out why images are blurry. Your images, especially, when made bigger or blurry. Figure out why and if there is a way to scale them. There might not be. There might not be a way to actually scale your images, but we'll figure that out. We will figure that one out, I am sure. Okie dokie. Oh god, what did I press? I pressed F11. I have no idea what F11 does. Oh god, F11 starts debugging my game. Let's not press F11 again. Okay. Can you get off this now? Okay, I'm off. Okay. Let us review then. We have created a scene where we can input our game controls. We've created a scene where we can move and manipulate a sprite, and a very basic way of splitting up our sprite into nice little tiles, a la this sort of way over here, into nice little sprites. And we are pretty confident that we can use the game input pads and the keyboard for input and go from there. Next time, I would like to do this a little bit more properly, in that I would like to add movement and animations and potentially collision. Collision's not easy when it comes to circle and square colliding one another, but I would like to give it a go.